Hey my friends, welcome to Voice in the Wilderness Australia. I'm Brian, and today I'm going to unpack a story which is concerning or it should be for all Australians, about facial recognition technology, who's using it, what it's used for, and the dangers involved that people don't often understand. You walk into a store, like every one of us do nearly every day. Maybe you want to go and buy a drill. Maybe you just want some toilet paper. And right above your head, cameras are watching. They're not just recording you, they're reading you, turning your face into a digital snapshot that can be stored, searched, analysed, and potentially shared anytime. No, this isn't science fiction. This is the here and now. And it's happening in Australia right now. Today, I'm going to unpack a story that could shape not just how we shop, but how we live. Stay tuned for more. In early February 2026, so only just gone from when I'm recording this, it's now the 6th of February 2026, so this has just gone through, a tribunal in Australia ruled that Bunnings, a big multinational hardware giant, they scored a partial win in a legal dispute over its use of facial recognition technology, FRT, in their stores. I don't understand really what a hardware store needs facial recognition for, but they're worldwide, so that's our images going everywhere. Now, that ruling came after privacy regulators had found that the company breached privacy laws when deploying the technology without sufficient notice or consent to the shoppers that entered the store. Now, meanwhile, Kmart, which is Bunnings' sister company, owned by the same conglomerate, they also faced privacy breach findings when it used the same kind of technology in 28 stores across Australia to try to spot people committing refund fraud. Now, regulators found Kmart collected biometric data from every person who walked in the door without telling them or even asking their permission. Retailers argued it was justified to fight crime. Privacy watchdogs called it invasive, absolutely invasive. They called it disproportionate and unnecessary, and I agree with that. You might think this is just about stopping theft, like they're trying to tell us, but that's like saying seatbelts in our cars are just about slowing down the traffic. There's a much bigger story here, and hopefully I can delve into it a little bit for us. Facial recognition technology, or FRT, doesn't just take a picture like a camera does. It takes your face and it turns it into a biometric template. Mathematical markers based on the distances between your eyes, the shape of your nose, the contour of your jaw. Now, once that's created, it can be stored, linked into other systems, and can be compared indefinitely. Unlike a password or an ID card, where you can change details, you can change passwords, things like that, your face is forever. It might change slightly in appearance as you get older, but it does not change biometrically. If this data gets out, you can't change it. Now, that's what makes facial data so sensitive. And when it's so sensitive, it also makes it so risky. And by entering these stores, we're giving them permission to take, store, and hold our biometric data. And that they're not even a government department. They are just a conglomerate who wants to make money. So that's, as I said, what facial data is, why it's so sensitive. Now, everybody wants safe stores. If you're a shop owner, you want a safe place for your customers. You don't want to pay out for theft and everything like that. But no one likes seeing violence or fraud or abuse to staff either. That's real. But here's where the problem deepens. This tech doesn't just watch the suspicious people. It watches everyone. It stores everyone's biometric data. You don't get a choice. You don't get a say. You don't even get a clear sign most of the time telling you that they're doing this to you. Let that sink in. Every shopper becomes a data point. Now, that's not mere CCTV, that's biometric surveillance. And it's not even by law enforcement or governments. It's by mere shops. And once you let that into the door, let them take those liberties, it's very hard to close it again. So this is where it gets serious. The whole thing's serious, but this is where it gets really serious. Facial recognition data is unique. As I said, it's permanent and it's tied directly to you. If a database is compromised, your facial template can be stolen. It can be used to impersonate you. It can be sold on the black market or the black web, the dark web. It could be cross-linked to other databases, your travel history, your banking, your social media, your government ID systems, because your face, unlike a password, can't be changed. You can't issue a new face after a security breach. You're stuck with it. And you're stuck with that face being everywhere after a security breach. And once that biometric data gets out into the wild, there's no undo button for it. There's no delete button for it. Now, trust me, that's not being paranoid. It's not being conspiracy theorist. That's just the plain reality of facial recognition and how bad it's getting. Now, a lot of people think these systems are perfect, that's infallible, but they're not. In fact, studies are showing that facial recognition often misidentifies women more than men. It misidentifies people of colour at a much higher rate. And mistakes can be made simply because of a lighting angle or the angle you're facing the camera changes. That means a false match could label you as someone you're not, and nobody gets to see why you were flagged. The camera might pick up your picture at a different angle, and it shows up that you've got the same biometrics or very similar biometrics to the pedophile down the road. And then the police come after you. Now, we don't want that because these systems are not infallible, and neither are the people who operate them. Imagine being banned from a store, or worse, because an algorithm has made a mistake, because we're trusting these algorithms way too much these days. And companies rarely show you the algorithms they use. You don't get a vote on it. You don't get to say yes or no, but you can cover up. Now, a common question that I see around is, can we fight this tech? Now, here's what the experts and the reports tell us. The higher end facial recognition tries to map facial landmarks beneath hats and sunglasses. So many systems, just a cap or glasses, won't fully block the scan. Some software can even see through partial obstructions by modeling the underlying features. Thick masks and face coverings make recognition harder, but they're not a guaranteed shield. So the point is, don't rely on a fashion change alone. Technology evolves fast. The more the system has data, the better it gets. That being said, awareness and personal caution, they do matter. Understanding your own face can be turned into data you never agreed to share in the first place is the first step towards protecting your privacy. Now, let's connect the dots. We're moving towards cashless society. That means every purchase you make is tracked. Receipts, cards, apps, loyalty programs. Loyalty programs especially, they're not there to help you. They're there to track you. Every step you do can be logged. Now add to that your face captured at the door. Your behavior tracked in the store. your transactions all linked together, and your data sold and traded between these companies that want to grow their businesses. Now, that's not just the one store watching you. That's establishing a complete profile of your life, built from the moment that you enter one Bunnings store or one Kmart store or any other shopping centre or place that uses facial recognition. And once that profile exists in those digital systems, who controls it? Who can access it? Who can use it to rate you? Because remember, Bunnings and Kmart and Coles and Woolworths and that, they're not law enforcement, but they are having more data on you, more biometric digital data on you than what the law enforcement has, than what the government does. And they can use that to rate you, to judge you, to decide what services you need, they think you need, or what perks they send to you. As I said, it's not for your well-being, it's to track you. And I know that sounds extreme, but in countries with social credit ambitions, like China, for instance, similar data feeds are used to rank citizens and assign privileges. Facial recognition is often at the center of these systems. If we let this slide, the gradual, almost invisible march toward pervasive surveillance happens not with a big bang, but with just a shrug. Oh, it's just another camera. Who cares? Now, technology should serve people, not monitor them. Yet here we are. Just a camera, they say. Just for your safety, they tell us. But when safety becomes surveillance, and surveillance becomes data collection, and data becomes control, and that's where it ends up, that's not just technology. That is power. These shops want power over you. They want power to control what you go in and do, what you buy, which shops you go to. And power unchecked will lead to overreach. You and I remember a time, if you're as old as I am, when privacy was assumed, not negotiated on a screen at the supermarket entrance. So we must ask ourselves, who gets to store that data? Who gets to use it? And under what authority? There should be a ban upheld for these businesses to not use biometric data. Because once a system collects your biometric identity, your face, it's not something that you can take back. And with AI these days, what can your face and your biometric data be superimposed to? Now, I'm not calling for you to hide from society, because that's not freedom. And we're losing more freedoms every day in this country. Even to this data, we're not getting the freedom to go into any shop we want, to make purchases that we want, because everything's being tracked. So I just want to give you some common sense steps to take. Demand transparency. The retailers should clearly inform you if facial recognition is in use, in plain language, not buried in legalese or in the fine print at the bottom of a sign as you walk in. Learn to know what your rights are. In Australia, biometric data is treated as sensitive information under our Privacy Act. And that means consent matters. It means you need to give consent, but you're not asked for it. We need to support stronger laws in this. We need rules that limit how and when biometric data can be collected, stored, and used. And we need to stay educated. Understanding what's happening around us helps us make choices, and those choices matter. Because this isn't about being against technology, it's about being for human dignity, freedom, and our privacy. When you think about it, looking back, cameras were once just watchers. They just watched and took a snapshot of what was happening there and then, in like scenery and things like that. But now they've progressed. They're identifiers. Now they're collectors. They're deciding what they know about you without you ever saying yes. If we don't stop to ask who benefits and why, we risk trading privacy for convenience. And that's a bargain we won't be able to undo. It might be helping the big conglomerates and the big stores, but just think about it. For those of you who have been hacked before, whose data, your license, your bank details, your telephone details have been hacked before, you know how bad that is. But imagine if it's your face that's being put out there on illicit videos with the AI and things like that, because that's what will happen. Thanks for watching, my friends. Stay aware, stay informed, and never give up what makes you uniquely you. Your face, your privacy, your freedom. Thanks for watching Voice in the Wilderness Australia. I'm Brian. Stick with me till next time. Bless you.